So no doubt you've probably heard of cursed gear by now, rewarded to you through either completing defense or attack outposts, finishing resource cache loot boxes, or farming those lovely pesky neophytes with those wonderful laser show gloom setups I've seen around. Though now, since being nerfed a touch, a Thyla's definitely going to come in handy. And don't forget, of course, the higher the level the neophyte, the better the cursed gear you're gonna get. But we want to look at how good cursed gear can actually be. To kick you off, there's exactly this amount of cursed gear available to date, with either pre-made or blueprints available out there, though worth noting you could be in for some very hefty red element costs as well as the normal cost you'd expect for any BP crafted otherwise. And not to be confused within the reinforcing of the Blood Forge, that actually just adds durability on any gear that you want. Cursed and reinforcing are two separate things, with the reinforcing adding that extra durability, and cursed gear of having the bonus effect of the durability actually repairing over time. So since firing this tech rifle, you'll see that durability go down to 184, but we'll see that durability repair itself over time automatically, and well, it does take a long time. Even when completely broken, you'll find as time passes it will still repair itself, which means things like chainsaws that you can fly through the durability on can be an absolute godsend. And maybe worth noting, it does have to reach a certain amount of durability before that item becomes available, while still continuing to repair itself. And you can actually boost that regeneration via a skill point called Cursed Fortitude, offering an additional 30% faster regeneration, with even more cursed skills to allow you to reduce your stamina by all the way up to 10% per each cursed armor piece, negating any incoming damage from bleed or poison on each piece by 10%, as well as an additional 5% damage dealt with any cursed weaponry to penetrate armor, making cursed gear even more worth using than any other piece. But it's perhaps where traits get involved where it really gets interesting. See, hopefully you know what these things are, once again awarded through outposts in the city or outside, and the mission cache loot boxes as well, and all provide an added bonus to selected armor or weapons depending on which you apply within the Mega Lab, which you simply need to turn on, put your piece in, and then drag and drop onto your piece. But with cursed gear, you can add two, and you can stack the same trait, which is crazy. And this is what we want to test really more than anything, the double stacking of item traits. We did a whole video based on the traits and going through each and every one and what they did back when Extinction launched, when these first came into the game, and it's a wonder that we've not really seen any new ones since. And if you don't know already, most people will swear by the mobile trait, allowing you to basically walk whilst weighted. It's really genuinely one of the best things ever. And perhaps tech wasn't the best example. Here you go with it on flak, so you know I'm not being tech boosted around or anything. It is literally that trait allowing me to run around with any weight I want, which really is one of the best things for base moving around in. But I want to know, with two on there, can we see an improvement in speed? In fact, that offers a negative. By stacking this one, we actually saw a negative to it. And just to test again, yeah, that's us with one of the traits. That's us with the stacked trait. That's an interesting start. But I get a feeling some of these are definitely going to offer some benefit. So just to show you an example, we'll get a different armor trait represented by this shield symbol. So this armor trait definitely wouldn't go amiss with something like Greater Medical. And if you don't know, you can only put armor traits onto chest pieces only. You can't put them onto leg pieces or such. And to be fair, looking at all of these armor traits, the one that looks like the most beneficial for double stacking is probably the Greater Medical. So we'll remove our current traits by clicking that button there. And what we're going to test right now is Med Brew Healing with just the one trait first. So looking at our health, of which we'll reduce down to 10 and then quickly do a Med Brew. Seeing that health go up to 58. If they're wearing the same trait stacked twice, there's definitely an improvement there. Wow. Getting us up to 67 health instead of that 58. That's a win there. Okay, so onto the melee traits now, of which I'm really curious about, and I'm sure you're already aware of this one. The Worker's melee trait is something people swear by when it comes to using a pick, because as it says in the title, adding that to a pick is going to add an additional 15% more damage to structures and on carcass resources. So let's do a quick test with this one. So with our normal max pick, we're seeing a yield of 3. With one trait, a yield of 5. And with both traits, a slight yield of 6. Though it is a bit RNG there because of stone, right? And if you saw our last video using thralls, if we use a traded efficient 3 that's got a harvesting yield boost of 15%, control this thrall and go through those picks again, we're going to see a vast difference with this one fully pumped in melee with just over 1k melee, which is achievable. So with normal pick, 74. With one trait, 97. With 2 traits, 77. But we did kind of get luck out on that stone. 84. 81. 76. 92. A definite marginal difference. One-shotting, and this is on 1x harvesting rates, by the way. One-shotting nodes. So definitely a great trait to be doubling up on your picks to yield even more per node, right? Imagine element veins with a mantis, for example. So next up, the Greater Tracker's gun trait, which I'm interested if, when doubling up on a sniper, we see that tracking actually doubled for 20 seconds rather than 10. So let's give that a whirl. $11, $12, $13. Wow. It certainly feels doubled. It doesn't feel like it's 20 seconds, but it's definitely longer than 10. It definitely feels like it's tracking just for that little bit longer. Okay. The ricochet is quite an interesting one, with a possible 50% chance or 25% plus 25% chance of improving that ricochet on any shots shot. So hopefully, if we fire off a shot at these NPCs, we'll see it fire off and hit. There we go. That definitely ricocheted. If we're seeing more damage numbers, we're seeing a ricochet. And it seems it's happening quite often. Look at that. Look at that. It's actually happening for almost every shot. Obviously with a reduced damage. But nevertheless, pretty cool. So skipping over protecting, I don't feel like we're going to see much advantage in our testing today with that one, though I'm kind of interested to see the results there. This one I'm definitely curious about if we're going to see a increase of 20% increased damage as a result of this. Which seems to be the case. Okay, so let's get some distance. Start on that dude there. 1. 2. Definitely seeing an increase there. I wouldn't mind being notified if I've hit the full increase. I think I'm there now. 53. And there you go. We've gone down to 44 now. So we've managed to increase that damage from 44 all the way up to 53. Which feels like a significant improvement. Oh, significant improvement. $149. And if the dummy helps test, $490. It doesn't. So we've had to rest it simply on that player there. But we saw it go up dramatically from 44 to 53. That's quite a jump. Obviously that target was saddled. So the projectile traits are very interesting because if you don't know, you can use these with a tech rifle. And there's some pretty spicy traits here that I'm thinking when doubled up could do some monstrous damage. So to kick off, we're going to go with the alpha one first. So we've got a max tech rifle with no traits, one with one of those traits and one with 2 of those traits to see if we can do an extra well, 5% plus 5% damage on an alpha. So, here's a creature I know you're all looking for. No, I am. .362 from the tech rifle without a trait. 381 with 1 trait. And 400 with both traits. We are increasing that damage tenfold. That's foul. That's foul. Okay. That's a good one to stack if you're planning to fight alphas. So ambushers, after not dealing or receiving damage for 30 seconds, we're going to do an additional 100% damage. But if we combine that with another one, are we going to do 200% damage or 150? Or 100% plus 100%? I'm very curious to see what's going to happen with this one. Oh, there's a 362. Oh! Oh! 725. So that definitely doubled up. Okay. Right, now we've got to wait another 30 seconds. Alright, here we go. With double traits. Oh! Wow! A tech rifle blast can shoot for 15, what, 14, 5, 1. Wow. And obviously, you gotta wait again. But damn, if you were not in a rush, dude, and, you know, you were raiding someone, just chill, wait 30 seconds. I know it's not worth the time, but damn! Look at that change. That's insane. Now this one allowing us to increase damage by 25% if it's location based, aka a headshot. Alright, let's do a Rex. That's a good example. 544 on the head with no trait. 680 with 1 trait. 850 with 2 traits. That is dirt. 850 on its head, dude. That's crazy. The doubling up of traits is wild. Okay. Echoing, honestly, it's a bit hit and miss for me. Like that 10% chance, I know it's increasing it, which does feel like it's a possibility. But I can't see it being one that I'm going to be using much of, really. But I know, especially with tech rifles, people swear by this one. The anti-grav trait. Because this increases its speed by 50% and the effect of gravity by 50% too, which means more damage in quicker succession. So hopefully the dummy will give us a good example for this one and give us a damage counter this time. So stand back. Right, just on the body. We're seeing a 3... pretty static 3k damage per second. Switching out to the 1 trait. Still quite 3, but we're not too far away, are we? We probably want to hang back. Let's try and get a bit more distance. Let's go from about here. Still rocking that 6k. It does bounce between 6s and 3s and 5s because of that range. So this definitely has an improvement. Seeing some bouncing between 6 and 5 there. With the 1 trait. Pretty consistent 6. Definitely a consistent 6. And with the final trait, I'm not expecting a jump. Thinking about it now. Not really much of a difference. I don't know, I was expecting something more from that one. But oh well, okay. onto the good stuff now. I'm looking forward to this. Because there is one trait in particular here that you've told me in the chat about already. It's not this one, though I am very curious how this one's going to go. Greater Rogues, increasing damage from behind a target's back. So, possibly seeing an increase of 80% melee damage attack. And interesting, the tech sword has actually got the skin applied to it, the cursed tech sword. So at the front 190 and at the back 317. Is that just to check again? 317 at the front, 317 at the back. Okay. What the hell was the 190? Did I hit a hand or something? Okay. 172. 172 with this sword. 172 at the front. 241 at the back. And then with the 2 traits. Sneak attack, mother. Sneak attack. Damn, man. Yo. Sneak attack. That's pretty feral. That definitely is. Getting up with a sneak. Watch out. Pretty good. A vast improvement. However, we're going to gloss over life drinking, but I do feel like that might be a bit advantageous because there's definitely one trait, especially not Berserker. I'm not a fan of that one in particular, to be honest. There's one trait here that you've told me in the chat about, and I'm very excited to see how this one goes because, as you can read there, any hit against a non-allied living target grants us a shield for 5% of your max HP, stacking up to 5 times. But the bonus with this is we can slap this on our thralls. So if you saw the last video, you saw how well this went. Well, there's a few things I've learned since then, and we're gonna have a crack at an alpha mission down there, an alpha outpost down there. It turns out thralls are herbivores, so we're gonna stack this dude up on veggie cake with the super sword with the 2 traits on it, which apparently is gonna allow this dude to be possibly invincible. I don't know how well this is going to go. We'll see. With the soups, of course, and stuff to buff its melee. So, sword on. Med brews at the ready. We're going to hotbar that so you can see the veggie cakes being used. And our soups. I'm pretty sure I'm missing one from before, but it's fine. Let's see how this goes. Alright, get ready. We're going to soup up and get involved. Here we go. Here we go. And we don't seem to be taking much damage at all. Wow, wow, wow. This is an alpha outpost, dude. This is an alpha outpost. And look at our health. It's barely been touched. We are invincible. Oh, this is insane. Look, look, look. Dude. Let's take out all these. Dude, we're just a Juggernaut. Look. We're not... We're taking no damage! No way! Dude! I mean, we are taking damage, like, but we haven't used the veggie cake yet. We're just sitting here tanking on alpha with 2k health. There's a veggie cake heal. Oh, okay. Something's just happened. I don't know. Is it the Rexes? Something just happened then. What just changed then? Something changed. I'm not sure what it was. Alright, let's just back up. Try and get behind the Rexes. Maybe the effect possibly wore off. Here we go. No way. There's no way. There's no... With 700 health. All right. Just get behind him. Get behind him. Oh, crap, 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 crap. What happened to my tech? What happened to my sword? It got whipped! It got whipped! Oh, GG. Oh, GG on that. It got whipped. You dirtbag. Well, there's something to be mindful of if you intend to take out your traded weapons. The whip NPCs are perhaps your biggest problem. But apart from that, man, oh man, the doubling up stacking of traits is definitely making cursed weapons a go for without a doubt. So I hope this has helped somebody. If it has, please do let me know in the comments below. Until the next one, my name is Raasclark. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And as always, peace out.